Hello everybody, Rockmoction here, and welcome to the next 3 weeks of the Paldea United Draft League for the previous season that I played in. This will be weeks 6, 7, and 8. For week 6, we are fighting Dragon Hunter with probably one of the scariest draft duos that everybody talks about is Golden Go Gliscor. The rest of his team is quite scary. Weavile, a Pokemon that I am hoping that I end up being able to use in the future. Rotom Wash, a very reliable Pokemon. I believe that is Terra Cincino and Iron Moth, who, while I don't have a lot of experience fighting, I know can be incredibly scary. This week, we've got Neutralizing Gas Wheezing. Terra Ground offensive Articuno, because in my mind, like, Terra Ground can run through Terra Ground Articuno pretty much can run through his entire team. I do need to worry about the being ground type though onto the Weavile, but you know, Terra Ground does so much damage onto so much of his team. Tinglu, a fairly standard set. A Pivot Haze Vaporeon. A very fun Sneasler set this week, and then a Nasty Plot the Rotom Heat set. Neutralizing Gas for the being with the defog onto Golden Go. But my idea for this week was I'm going to lead Sneasler. Whatever he leads, he'll probably swap in the Gliscor. Because Gliscor can wall out Sneasler very well. Sneasler does not really get any coverage to be able to deal with Gliscor, and a physically defensive Gliscor can really just sit on Sneasler, wall it out, threaten it out with a powerful Stab Earthquake. But because I am Flame Orb, my hope is that, you know, Gliscor comes in and takes the Flame Orb, or it takes the Flame Orb and gets burned instead of poisoned, which will make dealing with Gliscor so much easier this game. So, he leads Gliscor, I lead Sneasler, and I'm like, okay. I fling, he gets burned, and I am already off to the races. He sets up a layer of spikes, and I'm like, you know what? You can have those spikes. I do not care. I send an Articuno here. He sets up another layer of spikes. I'm still not too worried about the spikes. I do got the Galarian Wheezing late in the back. He sends in the Iron Moth. Now there was the freeze that happened on the Jirachi that really didn't matter. This freeze kind of mattered. He was what was his booster? He was booster onto speed. So, like, you know, with Articuno's bulk, it'd still be able to take the hit very well. But, you know, having a lower health Articuno meant that I would have had to play a little bit more cautious with it later on, trying to maybe get a Wish Pass or find a time to get a Roost. So, you know, that freeze ended up helping me out a lot. He sends in those Cincino and starts to take a lot of damage from the Rocky Helmet. We basically traded the amount of health that we took, but he sends in Golden Go. Due to the Neutralizing Gas, I'm able to defog on him, removing the spikes that the Gliscor had set up. Send in Tinglu. Tinglu can basically sit on Golden Go. I get up my own rocks though. And, you know, I'm not too worried about Vaporeon being burned this game. He sends back out the Golden Go, as he sets up a Nasty Plot here. Most Balloon Golden Ghosts that I see are Nasty Plots sets, but by flip turning, breaking off the Balloon, you know, I'm able to take pretty much whatever he wants to throw. Now, I was expecting him to swap here, which was why I used Payback. But, you know, Payback does double damage if I go second. So, you know, Golden Go, you can recover there all day. I do not care. Weavile comes in, sets up a Swords Dance, and I am get worried here. And I always forget that Beat Up is not a contact move. So I send in Wheezing here, And, you know, it gets some damage off with the Rocky Helmet. The Life Orb, though, is lowering it down bit by bit. But he gets the 3 hits there with the beat up, because he only had the 3 mons left. Thankfully, you know, he did not try and do that sooner. If he tried to do that sooner, I probably would have lost a lot more ground. But with Freeze Dry, you know, I'm thinking I was going to KO because I'm an offensive Articuno. I still don't, but, you know, I still have done a ton of damage to his team. Articuno goes down. Ting-Lu comes in. I protect for a little bit of leftovers recovery to try and hopefully live, as he goes for a Tail Slap instead of Triple Axle. But that also did tell me on the 4 hit that he was Technician loaded dice. But, you know, Gliscor cannot do anything to me. It is burned. It can try all at once. And, you know, Sneasler pulled off the fantastic turn 1 of doing exactly what I needed it to do. So, you know, Sneasler burning that Gliscor made that game super easy to play, made that game much more easy to play around. So, you know, good game, the Dragon Hunter. Unfortunately, you know, I had to burn the Gliscor. Week 7, though, we ended up fighting Big Will, who's got quite the rain team. A very scary rain team. Thankfully, you know, no Terra Regieleki. That thing would probably be like 27 points if it was allowed to Terra. But, you know, scary rain team. Archaludon being a huge problem in the rain with the Electro Shots. Palafin, big problem in the rain, giving rain boosted water moves. So, I decided for this game to try and make use of the fact that he was bringing rain, or the fact that he was a rain team, to try and build it around. I probably did not need Ting-Lu too much this game, but having Ting-Lu for Regieleki and Garchomp, always nice to have. Offensive Latios with Life Orb. Choice Scarf Articuno with Terra Ground Freeze Dry. Terra Ground with Freeze Dry, you know, I can do a good amount of damage to all of his team. I'm not too worried about hazards this game, especially because, you know, I'm Terra Ground again. Galarian Weezing. More of like a disruptive set with Will-O-Wisp Haze. Haze to remove the Electroshock boost, as well as the Stamina boost if I give him any. And then Swords Dance, Close Combat, White Herb, Unburdened Sneasler. I do have Upper Hand for the Jet Punch onto Palafin. So I'm feeling pretty good about this game. Expecting the Palafin lead, because, you know, if you have Palafin, you gotta lead Palafin. I think I maybe could have punished Palafin more by leading Latios. However, due to things, you know, I just wanted to make sure that, like, things were okay. Ting-Lu, though, taking the Electroshot into the Dragon Pulse, you know, takes a good amount of damage. I do set up my hazards here, though, as I Whirlwind out the Archaludon. Now, Levitate Weezing, I'm like, okay, you know, Garchomp cannot really hurt Weezing. He does fire off Electroshot, putting me down all the way to 4. That was probably a risk I did not need to take. I probably could have just went back into Ting-Lu there. But now, you know, this Archaludon is very, very threatening. I'm just trying to weaken it down with the burn, as I just got to play it slow, play it smart. I decided that I do not need Ting-Lu for the rest of the game. I think Ting-Lu did just what it needed, setting up the hazards. Sneasler gets to a point where it can just come in close combat with the white herb, be able to easily take care of things. But I'm like, you know, Mimikyu being a pretty big problem, I am thankfully able to get the burn onto the Mimikyu as he goes for a third Swords Dance, and I just click Haze. So now, you know, so now, like, you know, Mimikyu basically done this game. The red card, though, was kind of creative. But, you know, Mimikyu being super low now, able to just take it down. Now I get paralyzed here, but I do end up taking out the Regieleki, so, you know, Sneasler's already done so much this game. He double swaps from Garchomp into Pelipper, but in my mind, I'm like, you know, Sneasler, you've done just about everything you need to do this game. I was trying to sag off Sneasler to give him a safe swap to Articuno. Although I guess I'll go on the Latios here. But, you know, with how I have Latios set up, you know, Thunder easily takes down Palafin. And then, because I'm speed creep to outspeed Garchomp, I outspeed Garchomp. So, you know, Latios finally getting to show its stuff, and actually performed a pretty good in-game sweep there. So, you know, Sneasler got 3 kills, Latios got 3 kills. Very happy with both of them and how that game went. So, you know, GG's to Big Will. But we're going to move on to the Week 8 game against Vendetta. Now, the funny thing was, you know, this was the last week of this season where I'm playing Vendetta. The funny thing, though, was, you know, in the first week of the first season that I played in the Paldea United Draft League, I fought Vendetta. So, you know, it's just kind of funny how my first week and my first week of my first draft and my last week of my second draft are the same opponent. So, you know, I thought that was kind of funny. The team that I brought an offensive Cresselia here with Sunny Day, because I saw that he had a Slowking as well as Beartick. So I wanted to kind of use Cresselia to remove the snow from the chilly reception that Slowking would provide, to turn off Beartick's Slush Rush. Clear Amulet Sneasler here. If I do recall, he did have an Intimidator on his team that I was worried about. Assault Vest Tinglu again. Curse Registeel. Fairly standard Chestnut, and then fairly standard Galarian Weezing. So, you know, this game is kind of on the back of Sneasler and Tinglu. So, we'll see just how things go. As he starts Torterra, and I'm like, okay. My first thought was, oh, he's just going to Shell Smash. He Bullet Seeds for a lot more damage than I thought. Him getting the 5. I don't actually know why I Earthquaked. I guess because I thought that he would Shell Smash, but eh. Now he tricks here, and he tricks Choice Specs. So this told me that you know, this was Zoroark. But Tinglu being already super low and now burned, I'm like, okay, well, you know, Tinglu's just kind of not gonna be all that useful this game, unfortunately. But I did know that was Zoroark, so in my mind, like, okay, so right now Zoroark was Tinkaton. And now I know this is the normal Tinkaton, so like the entire game, like I'm trying to play around, like, okay, what could be Zoroark? What could be Zoroark? What could be Zoroark? I was keeping good track on like who was and who wasn't Zoroark. I think at some point in time I lost who it was, unfortunately, which is kind of funny. But I knew who it really couldn't be. getting damage on all of his mons. So like, you know, I was just trying to play around like, okay, what's coming in at full health? But you know, I forgot that or I did not know that the Zoroark had taken damage from the Leech Seed. I had forgotten that. So, but I do get off the sunny day. Knowing that this is Zoroark, though, I can just send in Sneasler and I can really just, you know, hit. As they say, you know, send in Sneasler and click buttons. But being a pivot Sneasler this game, you know, I can just kind of go in and out, make sure that, like, things are on my side. Getting fully paralyzed there, though, unfortunate. But then he missed the player off, so, like, you know, it's kind of even there. I send in Registeel here, though, as I click a curse. I do get burned here. I'm not too worried about the burn because I do have rest. And, like, you know, my idea is, okay, well, you know, I can take a good amount of damage, rest it off, and just become super, super tanky. If this stops me from being able to rest, and now I know that Zoroark is coming in. But, I think in my mind I thought that was the Rotera going to the Shell Smash, but, you know, I knew that that was Zoroark. But finally, you know, I can take down the Zoroark. I was expecting a Cobra Berry, so I didn't want to Throat Chop. And finally he does the Shell Smash, so... But he takes a good amount of damage from that. And even though he's +2, physically defensive Weezing can take it just fine. As he finally sends in Beartic, does the Terra Electric into the Swords Dance. But me, I was expecting Swords Dance, so I just was clicking Clear Smog. Because I did not want Beartic to be able to be set up. Right now, though, I'm just trying... so I was trying to waste down the Snow Turns. That Icicle Crash miss was very big. And then the second one happened, and I'm like, oh, I feel bad. And then because I'm offensive, fully speed invested, I do outspeed Beartic there. But, no, I let Cresselia go down here. As I send in Sneasler to take out the Slowking. Now, I could have actually realized Slowking was not Cobra Berry, but because I had reset the, I had overridden the snow at one point, I did not get to learn until the second, until the Future Chili reception that it was Icy Rock or whatever it is. But either way, though, good game to Vandenta, playing that Beartic super well. Unfortunately, you know, the 2 Icicle Crash misses. But that, if I go over to standings here, that put me in 2nd place in the overall standings. So, you know, I was playing super well after my 2 losses, and I just kept on winning. And I just kept on playing the best that I could. If we actually do go to my roster, that was 19 KOs coming from Sneasler that season. So Sneasler, I ended up playing very well, ended up being represented as my carry, and it really ended up showing this time. Ting-Lu pulling in 7 KOs as well, showing off just how strong it was. Both Ting-Lu and Sneasler, I had 100% usage on. Those two just super strong. And mons that, like, I have pretty much now a very soft spot in my heart for. Offensive Articuno, though, the games that it showed up, and I'm very happy that, like, I had it. And I'm also just kind of happy that I was able to get the KO bingo. Every mon on my squad got a KO. I'm very happy with this squad, but if we look, I'm in playoffs. So next video will be the playoffs video. Now, from where I had my standings, I had a round 1 bye, so I was immediately in semifinals. So I was top 4, which was super nice. And, it's kind of going to be kind of funny because, well, you'll just have to wait and see. But I hope that you all like this video. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe so that you don't miss any more notifications. Still got a ton of videos coming out, and so I hope that you all stick around for them, and I hope that you all have yourselves a fantastic day.